Burning some yarrow that I had collected at the beginning of the Mabon season. I think it was last year, and I've had it dried just in my house for a while, and I'm ready to let it go. I feel like dried flowers do accumulate a lot of energy, and you just kind of know when it's time to say goodbye. Samhain is in a week, and I'm very excited. And so today I'm going to be making some witches' torches and making my ancestral Samhain altar. I'm going to take you with me. Doing this with your herbs or burning plants like this is a really great way to do divination. You can read the smoke and what's happening to the flowers. And I just really love this tradition that I have of burning my herbs in the Samhain season. Yarrow left. All right, let's go inside and make my witches' torches. So to make my witches' torches, I'm using mullein stalks, and this part of the flower is going to be covered in the wax, and that's what's going to burn, and then the stick part of it is going to be the handle. And of course you need wax to cover it in, and I'm using beeswax that I just had left over, and also a little bit of this soy wax that I have. Then after I cover it in the wax, and I'll probably need to do between like 2 to 4 coats of wax. On the last coat, I'm going to sprinkle some herbs over top of the wax to kind of bring in the energy of Samhain. So I've chosen herbs that I feel are really great for this time of the season. This empty bowl I'm just going to use to put the mullein leaves in there so I can use those later. This is coastal mugwort that I harvested at Mabon, and I've mentioned before that I really like to use the things that I collect at Mabon at Samhain. And then I have some rosemary from my garden that I've chopped up. I also tried to chop the mugwort up, but it was pretty hard to do, so we'll see if I can use it. And then also rose petals from my garden as well that I chopped up as finely as I could so that the herbs aren't too bulky on the witches' torches. I'm also going to add some essential oils into my wax, and I have rosemary and cinnamon. So I just made a tea in my Noel cup. Noel is one of my familiars that I had. She was my second familiar before Binks. So to get started, I'm going to get moving because my wax is starting to harden. And so I'm going to take the petals off the mullein and put them away, and then I'm going to lay some parchment paper and start pouring my first layer of wax. As I was pouring my first layer of wax, I felt like something was missing, so I added some of the charcoal and ashes from my cauldron into the wax, which tied in the celebration of fire at Samhain, and it also deepened the color. I also added a pinch of black salt for spiritual protection. Samhain is an ancient Celtic fire festival, also known as the Witches' New Year. Between October 31st to November 1st, Samhain marks a season of death and transformation. This time on the wheel offers us an opportunity to reflect on ourselves before we are ushered into a descent within to face our shadows through the winter. Symbolically, a witch's torch can act as the light that helps guide you through these darker times. Each year at Samhain, I start a new cycle by sacrificing a part of myself that I recognize as holding me back. Then, through each coming Sabbath, I actively work to let that thing go. Last year, I sacrificed codependency, so I will be wrapping up that cycle for myself and starting anew. At Samhain, the veil between our physical world and the spiritual realm is at its thinnest. This time is a perfect opportunity to communicate with spirits, honor our ancestors, and our loved ones who have passed. Mugwort and rosemary are particularly powerful ancestral herbs, which is why I've chosen them for my torches. If you want to partake in the ancestral aspect of Samhain but feel conflicted because you don't want to honor your ancestors or relatives for your own reasons, then my recommendation would be to honor their soul essence, the truest parts of their soul that existed before they were born into Earth and were impacted by their experiences and traumas. When burning your witch's torches, you want to cut the tips off so that you are accessing some of the mullein, and that will be kind of your starter for the fire. And then if you don't want to burn your torch all the way through, then you can keep a little thing of water nearby and just dunk it in the water and then wait for it to dry out before you burn it again. I also wanted to show you this coffee that I got. It's from a company called Bones Coffee Company, and they have special edition Nightmare Before Christmas coffees. This one is cranberry creme brulee, and I also had the Oogie Boogie one, which was oatmeal cream pie, and a bunch of other flavors actually. I also got peaches and cream and s'mores, and just so cool. So cool for this time of the year. So while the torches are drying, I'm going to build my altar, and I'm going to show you some of the things that I'm putting on my altar this year. First, I've got these mini pumpkins to put on my altar, and I found this really cool pumpkin. I've never had a pumpkin like this, and I think it's really neat. Then I have this photo of my Nana and my grandpa. I recently had a channeled tarot message from a tarot reader that was for a group of people, and she started by saying that she felt like the message was for someone who had a grandfather that had passed and that their name was John. So that was really wild because my grandpa here, his name is John. I also have a few things here to honor my familiars that have passed. So here's Noelle. And then this is a Halloween necklace that I've been wearing since I was a kid, and I have this to represent my first familiar Soot. And I also have this magnet that I've always had that represents him as well. And then I have Noelle's fur, and then of course Sphinx's fur. Then for ancestry and the earth, I have this skull, and then I also have some bones that I'm going to put on my altar. I have this broom to represent all of the witches that have come before me. I'm going to put some rosemary in here. I also have this card from my Jane Hardwick Calling Cycle Tracker, and this is all about Samhain, so I'm going to put that on my altar. I'm going to be using this piece of fabric as my altar cloth, and I recently dyed this. It's a piece of linen with blackberries from my yard.
If I got every word perfectly weighted on a thin piece of paper, would it make any difference? Would it change for the better if I wrote you a poem, if I posted a letter?
So there's my Samhain altar. altar. I also added this picture that I made with the flowers that I pressed during Mabon and my beeswax orb because it's gonna look really cool and it's a safe way to burn something on my altar. Thank you so much for watching. That is all for my Samhain video. I'm going to go burn one of my torches now. I'm really happy with my altar and it feels nice to finally have that up now with the week leading up to Samhain. This altar feels particularly special because it's the first year, the first time where my Nana and my grandpa are on my altar together. Last year my Nana died on my birthday, and so this is the first year where I can include something of her. And so yeah, it's just a very special altar. So thank you so much for coming on this Samhain journey with me, and I hope that you'll make witches' torches too. I know that mullein isn't always the easiest plant to come across. It's definitely not easy for me to come across. 2 people gave me those, and so we have a visitor. It's Winnie's mom. If you do make witches' torches, let me know, and I would love to see a photo. There's also going to be a blog on my website about how to make the witches' torches, so you can kind of have that nearby if you want more instructions while you're actually making them. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.